All right, everybody, check it out. I bought this single port motor off of Marketplace. It was a good price, a couple $100. It's complete. It turns and has compression, but doesn't spin 100%. It was an H case. It looks like somebody stamped an F over the top of it. So I'm guessing that it maybe went to it was built up to a 1600. You can see that it does have case savers in it. I popped the valve covers off and look how nice that is inside. Silicone and all. But like I said, it does not turn a complete revolution, which doesn't worry me so much. We pulled some spark plugs out, and as you can see, let's see if we can get in there. Which hole is it? Not that one. All right. All right, so you can see we've got some corrosion inside. There we go. There's some corrosion inside that number one cylinder. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the number 2 cylinder that is stopping it from doing its whole revolution. So I just fired up the compressor. I'm gonna blow some air in there and try and get out whatever kind of rust I can. Maybe get a little brush in there and see if I can knock some of it out. You can see the cylinder wall has also got a little bit of corrosion, but it's not so bad because the piston wasn't stuck. So I might be able to clear that out just with a little PV blaster. And we're gonna give that a try. And either way, I feel really confident about this motor. I love single port motors. They're like sewing machines and they run forever. As you can see, this one has a fairly new clutch on it, just by looking at the bolts. And either it looks like the top end might have been done because there's a lot of grease over here. But who knows? Always had a lot of luck with single ports. I love them. They're my favorite motor. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put down the phone. I'm gonna blow some air into this cylinder, and I'm gonna maybe set this up on a tripod. My idea is I want it to spin a 360 revolution. If I can't get there really easy, then I'll go ahead and take it apart. Should have done this on the first squeeze, but all right, so I blew through all the fins, all through all the ports and everything. And you can see this is really clean. There's not a lot of gunk, so I'm not sure if the top end was redone or the bottom end, but somebody did protect this motor. It was covered up. As you can see inside, it's clean. There's not a lot of gunk in there. All right, so I'm gonna go, first thing I'm gonna do is a little PV blaster in that number 2 cylinder. I'm just gonna let that soak in there for a little while and then keep turning it over a couple of times. I'm also gonna get a little PV blaster on all the case nuts because I have a feeling this is gonna be pulling the cylinder heads off of this sucker. We might as well pull the clutch off and see what that looks like. Ouch. All right, so that's been in there a while. Although you can see that has been resurfaced. Huh. Okay, now that I've got this set up on a tripod, I could kind of get you caught up what I'm doing here. You can't really see it on the camera. But take it from the center of the case, and I've made a mark right here in purple. I'm not sure how good we could see it on the camera. but I guess we can. I've got PB Blaster in the holes, especially in number 2 that was giving me the issue. And I've been working it back and forth and watching where this mark lines up in the center of the case. And this is where it stopped. So what I'm able to do is go down just a bit to release it, and then up. Oops. You gotta remember to flip your ratchet. Go down a bit and then up. And you can see now I've got it to move that far. So it's not gonna be too long until I get a complete revolution out of it. And you're right, this isn't the best way to do it, but if I could fire this motor up and make sure the bottom end's okay, then I'll pull the top end and replace the pistons and clean it all up. But right now, it's gonna go in the budget Baja, so I don't wanna do too much to it. And I'm sure that I'm gonna get this thing to complete the round eventually. And if it don't, then again, we've gotta take it apart. Okay, so let's make a mark right there is where that was going. Ow! And then finally, goes through, and we're able to spin it all the way around. All right, I'm gonna get a bunch of oil in there, hook it up to my impact gun, and we're gonna get this thing to spin and create some oil pressure. All right, I'll be back. All right, looking at the underside of the motor, we do have a lot of grease and grime, but it doesn't look too old. So I don't know if this, like I said, just the top end was done and I'm gonna be surprised with a rod knock, or what's gonna happen. That's not stock, that's been changed. So I don't know, maybe it was just a greasy motor. Anyways, we're gonna continue. We're gonna try and fire it up as it is. So it's the next morning, and what I've done is I've pulled in one of my dune buggy chassis and slid the motor into place with no clutch. There's no throw-up bearing or anything. It's not like I'm gonna try and drive this, but I'm gonna use this as my engine stand to get this fired up. All right, with that said, I've gone to another motor that I just fired up the other day, and I stole some parts off of it because, of course, I got rid of scrapped a bunch of parts, and now, of course, I need stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the sheet metal on, the oil cooler, distributor, intake manifold, all that kind of stuff, and we are gonna prepare this thing to fire. I will be back shortly. Stay tuned. All right, it's ground up all the parts that I need. Oh, I still gotta find an oil cap and an exhaust system. All right, everything's bolted together. Everything seems to go. Coil wire's not hooked up yet. All right, I'm gonna go through and dig up an exhaust system to put on here. All right, I was able to dig up this tri-mill setup. It's the only exhaust system I had that has a baffle, and I don't want to be running a Stinger here in my shop. I happen to have a brand new installation kit, so we're gonna go ahead and slip this on real quick. Okay, I'm about ready to fire this up, so here's a little recap. Everything's hooked up, power lines, everything, battery, fuel pump. Let's see. Fuel pump is actually activated. Let's fill that float bowl. All right, I'm sure that's good. Let's find that starter switch, give it a little test to make sure we have power to the starter. We do. Now let's get some power to the coil. See what happens. All right, let's make sure we have power to that coil. Yep. I'm getting gas. Nothing yet. All right, I'm going to admit it. We had a bit of a hiccup. Cranked it over, started getting a lot of oil pouring out of the oil cooler seal. I had put the wrong ones in it, hoping they'd work, but they didn't. All right, so I had to pull it back apart. We're going to put it back together. Okay, everything's put back together. Oil leak's fixed. We're going to check fuel pump now and make sure we have. Why are we not getting electric fuel pump? Well, anyways. Getting gas. Made a little adjustment on the timing. Let's make sure camera is running. And here we go. Oh, gotta hook up the coil. Sucker's gonna run. As you notice, I got no motor mounts in here, so the motor's all over the place, which I'm not too concerned with. Nice. Well, let's figure out why this fuel pump's not pumping. All right. Let's see if we could run through the process all at once. We've got fuel pump going. We have coil going. And here we go.